Hi, in this episode of Toysbackzen, there's a bunch of things I want to talk about. A lot of it I'm showing right here in the video, and I've got some pickups, including these classified figures in the back, and there's a story behind that. So stick around and let's get into this. First of all, I was away this weekend, and I had an opportunity while I was away to go to a thrift store. So I picked up this figure here. I had no idea who he was or who he is, and his head is backwards here. And I found out that he was from Toy Story 3. His name is Twitch. I just thought he was a really cool looking figure. Not a lot of articulation, just on the legs here, on the arms, head, and he does have these translucent wings here that you can move and articulate. So it's really cool, and he's kind of like a He-Man slash TMNT figure, and I think he's going to look really good on the shelf. I'm not really a Disney Pixar movie collector like figures and stuff like that, but I just think he's really cool. He did come with a accessory, some kind of a scepter or something like that, but he didn't come with that in the bag. So I just grabbed him, and I think he looks really cool. Also, in a previous video I did talk about getting myself some enamel paints, and I finally did pick some up. Now, I was initially going to buy some Humbrol paints, and I was having a really hard time finding them, and I believe Humbrol is a UK company, and buying them in Canada seems to be a lot more expensive than buying the Tamiya. So I canceled my Humbrol order that I made, and I found a really nice local shop about 20 minutes away from where I live, and I didn't even know he was there. And he's got an amazing modeling shop, pretty much anything you can think of that to make customs, models, any kind of paints you can think of. And he told me that the Tamiya enamels are just as good as the Humbrol, and they're cheaper because they're not coming from the UK. So I took his advice and I picked up a bunch of these enamel paints, and I'm excited to get these. I also got some Humbrol satin clear coat to go over top of them, and I pretty much got all the colors that I think I need. The primary colors, some brown, some silver, and that'll get me going for a while for my customs, especially if I'm doing customs on hard plastic like G.I. Joes. Now, the reason why I've got these 3 3/4 Joes up here is, well, as you can see, I picked up some classifieds, and I've got my 3 3/4 Copperhead and my 3 3/4 scrap iron here, and we're going to do a box opening, and I'll compare these guys. But these guys definitely need some new O-rings, so we'll do that here in a sec. But the reason why I have Torpedo is, I'm going to just do a little rant here, is that I've been trying to get the latest wave from the classified figures, and it includes Copperhead, which I got, and Scrap Iron, which is nice, but it also includes Torpedo here, and this is one of my favorite figures. I know that I have a lot of favorite figures, I've been saying that, but most of the figures that I had from my original collection as a child are my favorite because they're the ones I played with the most. And I'd have to say, even though I had Scrap Iron, I did like him, but I'd have to say that Torpedo was one of my favorites, including Copperhead, because they always battled each other in the pool when I played. And this is not my original Copperhead. This is not my original Scrap Iron, because they have really good paint. My original ones were played quite a bit. This is my original Torpedo, and he looks, kind of yellowed, kind of beat up, but he is complete still. I still have all his accessories, which is awesome. They are the original accessories. and you can see that he was played with quite a bit. I still took pretty good care of my figures as a kid, and it really irked me when they broke or I lost a weapon, so I try to take care of them. The reason why I have him out here is that I've been trying to get this wave, and my local GameStop, I was online, I was checking them out, and it showed that they had scrap iron and torpedo in stock, and it said, clearly it said on the website that it was an in-store pickup. So I drove 20 minutes with my son, and we had like 20 minutes to get there before it closed, and we got there all excited, and the guy said that these guys were pre-orders only. And I said, well, that's not what it says on your website. He's like, well, if you see that I have stock, it just means that those pre-orders haven't been picked up yet. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. So that kind of annoyed me quite a bit. He was the owner, and he told me call Monday and see if I still have them in stock. I do have one set left, and if that person doesn't come and pick up their pre-order, then I'll be putting it on the shelf. So just call me and I'll hold it for you. And I thought that was nice that he said that, but it's still confusing as a collector trying to get these figures, even when I go there when it says online that they've got stock and they're telling me that they're pre-orders only and they're not actually in-store pickup. So that really annoyed me. So I didn't get torpedo, but I managed to go away yesterday, which was Sunday, and I was in a different town, about an hour and a half away. I went into GameStop after having some lunch where I was visiting, and they had these two figures, Scrap Iron with the anti-armor drone and Cobra Copperhead, and they were sitting right on the shelf. So I was excited to pick those up. They didn't have torpedo, unfortunately, but we're going to open these up and take a look at these. And the next thing I want to show is, here's a custom that I made. This was Scrap Iron here. You can see he's black, and this was a custom series that I made for the Cobra. I called them the Cobra Black Ops, or they were like the Cobra Night Force, and I called them the Cobra Black Ops, and I had painted a lot of these figures, and I believe this is my original Scrap Iron, because most of his paint was missing and stuff, because like I said, I did play with these guys a lot. And after a while, when my kids, when they were really young and they wanted to play with Dad's toys, I actually grabbed a bunch of my customs and I just kind of said, here you go, and play. And we all know that these G.I. Joes are brittle, and he's got a broken crotch and a broken foot now. So I still held on to him because he is my original toy. But maybe someday I'll find a new crotch and a new lower leg here on the right, and maybe I'll put them back together. Before we get into these classified figures, I'm going to change the O-rings on these guys. I've never officially made an O-ring video on how to change them, so we'll call this my O-ring repair video on how to change O-rings in a 3 3/4 inch G.I. Joe figure, as if you guys need to see that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's do that. So the O-rings I like to use for fixing my Joes, I just buy them at my local Rona or Lowe's or Home Depot, wherever. You can get them anywhere. These are 3/8 inch inside diameter and 9/16 outside diameter, and the walls are 3/32. I think I changed his probably like 7 years ago. These are the ones I used, and he's still good. So here is my way of changing O-rings. I like to be very delicate with, or very careful with this screw, because you can break the inside of the figure if you screw it back together too tight, or if you pull it apart too hard. So I like to pull that apart. You can see the inside here. there's my 3 3/4. They're all fixed up. That's how you put O-rings in. Well, that's how I put O-rings in my figures. Let's get these figures out of the box and we'll take a look at them. First, taking a look at the box though, this box is really nice. You can see, I think that's the G.I. Joe headquarters there in the back. He's just come off of a truck. We've got some Sky Strikers here up on the top, and you can see all the things that come in. Like I said in my last video, I love these boxes. I think they're better than the boxes with the windows. I like the artwork. If I'm going to keep the box, it's got to look like this. I don't want a window with nothing in it sitting on my shelf. Some of us, we like the boxes and some of us do. I don't really care about packaging so much, but for some reason these classified boxes, I love them and I do keep them. This is the back. This is everything that comes in this thing. This box is really heavy. It's got a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot of plastic in this. And we're going to take a look at the side. You can see the QR code here with the cobra in the middle of it. I think that's pretty cool. You can see he means business. I like how his face is all messed up. He's been in battle and he means business. He's number 74. He's definitely a premium figure. I paid $60 for him. That was with my platinum card from GameStop. So he looks great. We'll get him out. We've got the crate here with 74 and the Cobra symbol on the front. And this is what it looks like inside the box. You can see the figure. Let's get all this stuff out with those ties. I'll untie all of these and we'll get him out. I really like the fact that after you get Scrap Iron out, he is got a portrait. It's almost like a black and white painting of him. It's really nice. It's a nice detail that you'll probably never see because I'm going to put this back in the box. Wow, this figure comes with a lot of things. Of course, he's got his anti-armor drone. This thing is really heavy. It's really solid, very thick plastic. There's a lot of paint apps. You can see the Cobra symbol here. See where the bombs go in here. It's almost got like a glass dome, a bit of plastic glass dome. Looks like a sight of some sort. And then you've got also some other detailed lights, some green, some gold and some green lights. The antenna here, and then you have the tracks. Now the tracks I thought were going to be like rubber tracks that actually moved, and they're not. I'm not really. It's not a make or break that it doesn't have tracks that move, and they don't move, but it's a lot of really nice detail here. I like the red details. Let me get some more light here. We can look at that a little bit better. There's a ball joint there, it just clicks in. So let's click that in to here. It goes in quite well. It's almost like these are independent of each other, like it goes back and forth, and this can go 360 degrees. And I really like that detail where you can see my round light reflecting off of that. It looks really good. So you're able to put the missiles in here. You can see these say laser guided. They're red like the original ones. In proportion, they seem a little longer than the original 3 3/4 size one, but I like the detail of it having treads instead of just legs. You can see some more detail here. It's almost like a metallic green or something. I guess that is not, I thought that was like a clear plastic, but it's just, makes it look like a lens. I think it's just a glossy black plastic that's making it look that way. So, of course, he's got like the original one, where there is a cord connected to the remote. Well, we have the technology now that we can have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or satellite. So he's got a remote here. Take a good look at that. It's got really cool details on the screen there. We've got some antennas. Then we have these are really nice. These are effects, blast effects, I guess you could call them. Not really a blast effect, but more of an effect of bombs or something like that exploding on the ground near him. We've got these two. These are really solid. They're a thick, solid plastic. Translucent with some of the white. It's almost like an off-white paint apps there. They all have a little bit of the off-white paint apps. These have a lot of them. This will look good on my Cobra shelf with all the classifieds, just kind of surrounding everything. I like how they have it on the front of the box. And then these are really neat. These are blast effects for the missiles, and I think the idea is that you can put them in here. And because there's slots here, you can see what those look like coming out. And you can see the smoke. That's really cool. Now this does come up quite a ways, and it goes down quite a bit. So you've got a good range there. Plus, like I said, it does go side to side. So let's put that in the background like that. And let's take a look at Scrap Iron himself. His color is similar to the original guy. He does have a lot more paint apps. He does have the knee pads, and he's got a holster here on the right leg. He's got a little bit more going on here. He doesn't have the detail here. Scrap Iron on the original one, he's got, I'm not really sure what they are, almost like hooks or something like that on his leg, where they eliminated that on the new figure. The details on his face are really nice. He looks like he's been through hell and back. Grenades on his chest. Cobra symbol here, and you can see his the pads on the back continue around. You can see the scars on his head. And it's almost like he is blind in the left eye from some kind of mishap he's had in war. They did give us a helmet for him, which we expected he would need. He looks like, it looks like the way he should look. He also came with this, quite a bit different than his original gun. It does have a blast effect hole in the front. We know that these don't come with blast effects, but I have made my own blast effects, and we'll see if we can get one of those on here. We'll put his gun right in here. See if it fits. It fits really good, nice and snug in there. We'll see what it looks like in his hand. He's got a trigger finger, and it does fit in his hand really, really well. And then, of course, we have his remote, and that fits in his hand really nice too. So he looks great. I paid $60 for him. That was with my Platinum card discount. I think $60 is a little bit too much for these figures, but look at all the stuff he comes with. So, these alone would be like $20 by itself. This would probably be $15, $20 by itself, and we've got scrap iron, which would be, usually about $32. So I think he looks really great. Let's see if the blast effects that I've made will fit in his gun. I've got one here. And there you go. There's the blast effect that I made. Pretty cool. If you haven't seen that video, check out my last week's video on how to make your own blast effects for any figure, really. Doesn't have to be classified, but I just find that classified figures, they don't come with they don't come with their blast effects. So, and I just want to show you a difference with the missile. You can see how stout these original missiles are compared to the new ones from the 6-inch. They're much longer than the original one, even though they have the same kind of fins. First of all, we'll take a look at the box. He is menacing looking. He looks mean, and I love the artwork on this guy. Copperhead, he's a cobra. He is the water moccasin driver, and you can see I got him for $32.39, which is the platinum price. Let's take that off. The other one didn't have a price on it. I think they just had put that on the shelf when I walked in that morning and picked it up. And the nice thing about taking that off is I didn't even realize this. He comes with a bunch of different weapons. And I didn't notice this, but I didn't realize he had a second gun in his holster right here. So that is really cool. That's kind of what I meant about my last video when I was talking about bazooka. He only came with a bazooka. They could have afforded to give him another gun, I think. It would have been nice for him to come with something else, because you could hook his bazooka onto his backpack. He is number 72. And you can see the QR code here. It's kind of funny. It's got the cobra and the QR code. You can see what he comes with. This is really cool. I never noticed this. He's got a really nice tattoo. I think the G.I. Joe team from Hasbro, they're looking at Valaverse quite a bit because they've upped their game a lot. And I don't believe that Copperhead ever had a tattoo on his arm, but they're trying to copy Valaverse quite a bit and up their game, because Valaverse is kicking ass right now. The tattoos and the articulation and the quality of their figures, and his figures have gone down in price. So that's amazing how he's able to do that. I might have to get into Valaverse, but I'm just such a G.I. Joe collector that I just love G.I. Joe so much that I'm going to collect them as long as I think I can. Here's the artwork on the side. But there he is. Let's open this guy up. Now again, behind Copperhead, they've got some artwork of him and behind him. Pretty amazing. Did they do that with the other ones? I don't think they did. I don't remember. I don't think so. He also came with a crate with some accessories, number 72. This one's pretty light. I don't think there's a lot in there. And here is Copperhead. Looks really good. First of all, his color is a lot more muted. I noticed that they're doing that with the classifieds. If the figure has like a bright neon color, they mute that quite a bit and darken it quite a bit. I really like the color of this guy as a child, but I think I do really like the way they updated his color palette. It makes him look a lot more adult collectible than a child toy. And you can see, let's take a look at that tattoo right here. That looks really good. We've got a skull and a spade. And there are some words there. It says, "Can't miss," on his arm. I really like the details on his face mask. I'm assuming, and I've never thought about this when I was a kid and he had a mask, I just thought, oh, he's got a mask. He's just a bad guy with a mask. But from what I could tell, and it probably was evident in the cartoon, because of the paint apps they've given him, even though they gave him all the same kind of detail that he had from the vintage figure, the details shows that it's actually a breathing apparatus, I think, for underwater. So that's really neat. He's got a harness here with a pouch, probably another little handgun here. He's got a holster here, and he's got a holster here, but this seems to be has a little latch here so that when you put the gun in, it latches. We get some really nice detail on the belt buckle in silver. We get another skull here. He does have a cobra symbol here that's silver. I like that silver. It's unfortunate that this is kind of over it. It's too bad they didn't hang that down a little bit more like the original one. And I think this is a scabbard, to tell you the truth. And it looks like that it's supposed to be glued here, but the glue is coming apart or something. I'd rather it not be glued, to tell you the truth. I don't know why they glued it there. I don't think that's supposed to be glued. I think that was a mistake. I don't think that's supposed to be glued. So you can see all of the detail. Not much on the boots. There's not much to look at for the boots here. But he is a moccasin driver. Now, how are we going to get a water moccasin? That's the question I'm asking. You would think that if they were to give us a water moccasin, you think they would give it to us in the HasLab fashion because, well, that's what they've been doing. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We've got a really nice holster here. It looks like it's got some details that it's made out of leather with some silver bullets there. This goes on his back, I think. Yeah, fits on his back. This is very rubbery, so that was actually, it felt like it was going to break when I put it in there. This gun is really, really nice. A lot of detail in that gun. It is a revolver painted in silver, and we've got some black details and a scope on it. So that probably fits right in here, and it does, really nice. And we've got this strap that pegs in there, the same as the holster here on his right leg. We can see he's got this handgun. It's got some nice detail in it. No paint apps. It does have some details on the grip. See if that fits into his other holster here. And it does. And this holster also has a strap that pegs in to the holster. I like that. And I think the fact that this guy didn't come with a weapon from the very beginning, from the original figure, I think I'm going to be putting his hatchet in his hand, and he can go out looking for G.I. Joe like that. Now, he does have a scabbard here for his hatchet, but I'm going to keep the hatchet in his hand. I think that looks nice, having him holding that. But you can see how the scabbard here, it does have a hole in the bottom, so that fits right in there, and it can be held in there. I'm not going to put it in there because I'm going to leave him like that. So I think he looks great. He does look like the figure. He does remind me of the original Copperhead. And I think this is a great update. I still like the color of this guy. If you think of Copperhead, you think of this color, but it's nice that they updated his color palette. So thanks for watching this episode of Toysbackzen. That was really fun, showing you my pickups and ranting a little bit about being an adult toy collector. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm really happy to get my enamel paints. I'm going to be doing some more customs coming up soon, and I love these figures. I'm really enjoying collecting these, and I'm happy to have them in my collection. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of these figures. Do you use enamel paint? Do you like the Copperhead? Are you having a hard time picking up the new waves of G.I. Joe classifieds? And tell me if you try to stay away from buying things online because you've had bad experiences. Thanks for watching this episode. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and stick around for the next episode.